My name's Simon.
For the most part, my life is totally normal. I have a family that I actually like, and there's my friends. So, I'm just like you, except I have one huge-ass secret.
Hey! I like your boots! I said I like your boots! Goodbye!
Nobody knows I'm gay.
Hello, wonderful human beings, and welcome back to Movie Madness Mondays. And today I will be reviewing Love, Simon. I usually have notes for when I'm reviewing a movie so I can keep on track and I don't forget any important points. For this movie review, I have no notes. I have no prompts, nothing. I decided to do this one off the cuff because I feel like it'd be more genuine, and I think that's what this movie deserves. A genuine review for a genuine movie. And also, this is a first for my Movie Madness Mondays. There will be no spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen it, you can still watch this movie review and nothing will be ruined for you. First and foremost, I will say that this is a great movie. I don't usually watch trailers for movies because I feel like they spoil the movie quite a bit. But I did watch the trailer for this movie and I knew by the trailer that I was going to enjoy this movie. I like most teen movies, so yeah, I knew I was going to like it anyway. And then you throw in a movie with a good message and I'm sold, absolutely sold. So I knew going in that I would enjoy this movie. However, I didn't realize how much I would enjoy this movie. It is not very often that I go into the cinema and see a new movie and am moved. I don't go in to see the Marvel movies and feel anything. I'm just like, oh, it's just another Marvel movie. But Love, Simon is different. And there are many reasons for that, which I will go into without spoiling the movie. For one, it's just a really good teen movie. You see a lot of teen movies these days, and they're all about like slapstick comedy, and there is kind of some underlining messages in it, but not huge ones, and it's all kind of like silly high school stuff, which, don't get me wrong, can be really good, and I do enjoy those kind of movies as well. But with this movie, it was more genuine and it had a really big message behind it. And yes, there was funny moments in the movie. I wouldn't class them as slapstick or big laughs, but I did have a few wee giggles during the movie, but I wouldn't say it was a comedy. It was more of a drama with some lighthearted humour in there as well, which I quite liked. It was a different style of teen movie that I'm used to, but I really, really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed all the characters, especially Simon. For one, he was an absolute cutie, but what I did like about it was that he wasn't your typical gay guy that you see in all these movies portrayed the same way. You know, quite feminine, dresses kind of feminine, into fashion, you know, have a high-pitched voice. That is typically how a lot of gay people are represented in movies, which is not representative of all of the gay community. So I liked how they used someone who is confident and sweet and funny and someone who just fit into high school with no obvious issues and was quite popular and was enjoying life. I like that because I know people that I went to school with who were like that, who fit into school. It looked like from the outside that they had no internal issues with themselves or sexuality, when really they were struggling a lot. So I feel like a lot of gay teenagers who are in high school or secondary school can relate to this character because they put on this facade of being okay and loving life. And there is probably a part of them that is loving life and is enjoying it, but they have this secret inside them that they feel that they can't reveal to anyone. So I feel like it does help to see that kind of individual being represented in these movies. I liked all the interaction with his friends and his family. It seemed quite genuine and endearing and very cute, and it made the film feel very wholesome, and it got to my feels. It really did. Just there's so many stages to this movie where I got the feels. And that's what I love about movies. I like it's sparking something in me, and I felt that quite a few times with this movie. The first time I felt a little bit of a pang in my heart was a weird one. I'm not going to go into it because I think it was nice that I knew nothing about this scene before I saw it. But basically it is when Whitney Houston's song comes on, Dance with Somebody. That whole scene, I don't know what it was, it just sparked something in me. It kind of reminded me of 500 Days of Summer when You Make My Dreams Come True song is playing. But I feel in the 500 Days of Summer, that was more for comedy and laughs, where in this movie, I felt very uplifted by it and I felt very happy, but not in a funny way, not laughing. It just made me feel very happy, and I quite liked that, and I got a little pang in my heart when I was watching that scene. Then near the end of the movie, I was getting so many pangs because there were so many things. I don't want to spoil it, but there were so many conversations and interactions with people that just made my heart pang and get the feels, and I was tearing up, and it was just really, really lovely. And the ending, that got me. It got me. That's all I'm going to say. It got me. Like I said, it is a really good teen movie, different from what you're used to, but it has such an important message. But not only is it just a good teen movie, it is also a lovely, beautiful love story. In most movies that I watch, the love story is okay, or it is nice, but this one, I feel it made an impact on me. It was different and it was special. It really did make me tear up and get the feels. It's one of those movies that just has an effect on you. Like, even when I left the cinema, I did think, oh, that was a good movie. And then it hit me later on in the day, and I started getting emotional for no reason. It seeped into my heart and my eyes, and I started tearing up. Even now, I'm kind of getting a bit emotional, and I'm not quite sure why, but that's the effect that the movie has had on me. For me, as a bisexual lady, I didn't feel I could connect to what the character was going through, which is one of the reasons why I never felt part of the community. And I've talked about this before, because I never struggled with my sexuality or my school life or my friends or my family with my sexuality. I never tried to hide anything. I never felt awkward. I didn't care if people knew. So it was hard for me to relate on that level. I'm so grateful I didn't have to go through that. When I came out of the cinema, I was thinking of all of my friends who are now openly gay but weren't when we were in school. I wanted to go up to them, give them a big hug and tell them that I'm sorry that they had to go through that. It must have been awful. And just tell them that, basically, that I'm sorry. But I don't feel a part of that community. And I'm not complaining. I'm very lucky that I was always comfortable with my sexuality and I could openly discuss it and express myself. But this movie makes me understand a bit more what my friends must have gone through in school, and it makes me feel very sad that they had to go through that and have to hide who they were, live in fear that someone might find out who they are. And I'm hoping one day that won't be the case for the LGBTQ plus community. I'm hoping that it won't be a struggle and it won't be a thing, and everyone can be accepted for who they are. It might be wishful thinking that we can ever get to that stage, but I'm really, really hoping for it. There's something that really resonated with me in this movie. It was something Simon said about being angry that the LGBTQ plus community have to come out and straight people don't. And that is something that I understand and I talked about in one of my videos. Because we live in a world where people assume your sexuality, your gender, your everything. People just make assumptions about you, and that means you have to correct them. I would love it if we could live in a world where we assumed nobody's gender and nobody's sexuality. And he asks, why is man and woman the standard? And this goes back to obviously biology, where only a man and a woman together can create a baby and repopulate the world and all that jazz. But we live in a world where that's not living. That's not the way everyone lives or chooses to live their life. And I think everyone needs to accept that and realize that there is no standard anymore. We are not on this earth to fall in love, get married, and have kids with an opposite sex. Some people do that, and that is absolutely fine. But there is other people who are attracted to the same sex or both sexes, or don't want to have kids, or do want to have kids, or want to get married, or don't want to get married, or don't want anything to do with anyone. There are so many different people in this world that there should not be a standard. There should never be a standard. No one should assume someone's sexuality or preferences. It's none of their business. It's nobody's business. I'm hoping that when I have kids, it won't be any sort of issue who they are dating. I want them not to come out to me. I don't want them to sit me down and say, I'm bisexual, I'm gay, I'm straight. I don't want any of that. I don't want it to be a big deal. I want them to come home and introduce me to their partner. I am not going to be pressuring them to get a girlfriend or get a boyfriend or get married or ask them all these questions. I will let them decide, and whatever they decide is fine. We've got to stop conditioning our loved ones to do a certain thing. Like in this movie, the father asks, did he get a girl pregnant? Or things like that. I don't want to assume that they're going to be attracted to a certain sex. So when I have kids, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say, oh, what boys do you like in school? Or what girls do you like? If I'm going to ask about their love life, I'm going to ask them, is there anyone that you like? I always want them to be who they are and never hide who they are. So I like that this movie questions that and questions why straight people don't come out as well. So this movie got me in my feels. It's just so beautiful. It's a good movie. It was funny at parts but not hilarious, and it had such an amazing message. I think it'll help a lot of the young LGBTQ plus members that are struggling with their sexuality or afraid to come out. I think this would be a very uplifting movie for them and maybe inspire them to come out and be who they are and no longer struggle and just be happy with themselves. And hopefully one day we can eradicate this whole coming out thing and just let everyone live the way they want to live without any fear. So I think that's all I have to say on the movie. I would recommend this movie to everyone, not just the LGBTQ plus community, but everyone, because it is a movie for everyone, for young people, for just the world. It's a really good, uplifting movie with a lovely message, and I would recommend it. So go see it. Please give this video a wee thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please let me know in the comment section if you've seen this movie or are looking to see this movie or enjoyed this movie. I would love to discuss this movie with anyone, so please let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. And remember, everyone deserves a good love story. Love, Sarah.